You have reached Atheist Republic voicemails. God may not be listening to you, but the citizens of the Atheist Republic are. Leave us a voicemail on atheistrepublic.com for a chance to have your message broadcast to our followers worldwide. Send us your opinions, stories, advice, or concerns. Together, we'll build a platform for atheist voices all around the globe.
Hi, Atheist Republic. My name is Dimple and I am from India. I firstly want to thank you for the contribution you are making to the society. It's really great that you're helping those people who are finding it very difficult to get some support from the people or the society, especially the ex-Muslims in the world. They are really frightened by the community people, even from their own family members. It's really a difficult situation from them, and in such time they are getting such support from you and your colleagues. It's really great, and I'm really thankful to you for that. The second thing I want to say is, here in India, people are becoming blind in the name of faith, religion, culture. I request you to please pay a visit to my country. Otherwise, my country will go in a deep shit. People are killing their daughters in the name of religion and in the name of honor killings. People are sacrificing their daughters or sons in the name of religion by making them monks so that they can get peace in heaven after their death and bring some betterment to the society. I mean, this is really shit. I don't believe in it. I won't say that I don't believe in God, but I don't believe in religion, that is for sure. And the way India is changing, it's an alarming situation. And I think that if we have not taken any actions today, tomorrow, I don't think we can do anything. The situation will be very bad. I request you to please pay more attention to this country and other countries as well, because religion, I think, is the most bad thing that happened to our human society, to our humans. And this is really something which I don't appreciate, and I don't want people to fall into that traps. So again, thank you so very much for your contribution, and keep doing such good work. Love from India. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name's Gary Wishon. I'm an atheist. It's safe for me to say that in America, where no one's going to hunt me down for being one. I'd like to take this opportunity to say how much in awe I am of everyone who says they're an atheist, or even one has the courage to admit to themselves that there is no God in countries like Bangladesh, where you will be hunted down, where you will be murdered for being an atheist. Knowing full well this is the price they would pay, they still speak up and speak out. I'm amazed by their courage. I don't know if I would be able to do the same thing in that situation. As I said, I'm safe in America. Everyone who isn't and still come out as an atheist, you have my awe and respect and love. Because I don't know if I'd be able to do the same thing if I was you. Thank you, Atheist Republic, for everything you do. Goodbye.
Hello, hello you guys. This is Tati Arisa. I am from Malaysia. I am a transgender woman as well as an ex-Muslim. Malaysia is a very conservative Muslim majority country where majority of them are Muslim, Sunni Muslims, and they are getting more and more conservative by the day. And I became atheist and left Islam a few years back, actually. So I'm gonna start off with the story of me being growing up as a trans woman in Malaysia. Growing up, I was bullied a lot because I was very effeminate little boy, and then I was bullied a lot in school. All the name calling, I got called faggot and all that. The all the bullying that happens to a typical feminine boy, right? And then what are the struggles of being LGBT Muslim? It is not accepted at all, but back then it was, I think it's easier for me because I was not out yet. I haven't transitioned as a trans woman, so I was still dressing and living as a boy back then. So people couldn't really tell that I was trans. So as soon as I came out, you know, it got harder because, rejection from friends. I lose some friends, I lose some family because they tell me that it's a sin, it's against Islam, and that I need to repent. My family freaked out when I came out as trans woman. They couldn't accept it. They asked me to repent as well because it's against Islam. My father actually gathered my brothers and sisters and tried to brainwash me into, it's almost like emotional blackmail, He cried and asked me to go back to being a man, which is, which hurts a lot for your family to do that. And until now, my father and I, we don't speak to each other anymore. He just couldn't accept it. He couldn't get over it. And my relationship with my other siblings has grown apart. Like, we used to be quite close, and now we are not that close because I know that they won't truly accept me for who I am. So about being ex-Muslim, it was last few years when I realized that it just, I started reading more about Islam and having more ex-Muslim atheist friends, and they opened my eyes to the fucked up things that, before this I tried to ignore, but now, like, the story of Abraham trying to kill his sons and everything. So it just, it sounded fucked up, and I couldn't believe in it anymore. And I feel like all of these religions are man-made and man-made bullshit, right? So I actually planning to, flee Malaysia because I want to live a more free life. So yeah, that's why I created my crowdfunding page, and I hope that you guys can support me by donating so that I can actually reach my dream of seeking asylum in Canada. So it's almost, I have a lot more to say, but it's almost 5 minutes. So, all right, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you guys for what you're doing. Science and reason will rule the world.
Hello, my name is Nordin. I'm from Tunisia. I'm agnostic, and I learned a lot through Atheist Republic website and Facebook pages. I found a lot of friends, old one, new one, and I learned a lot. I wish to more people from a country were accepted the atheism. It's very taboo and forbidden for Islamic religion. Even my country is kind of flexible about that, very flexible. The people here are very flexible regarding of other countries, neighbors maybe, but still atheism is kind of taboo and is not well accepted. I wish more people were concerned about the subject. Sometimes, even here in Tunisia, we found people that don't understand the concept of atheism and agnosticism. So maybe Atheist Republic will make it through media, through internet, and bring the atheism as not as an evil, something evil or bad, or maybe it's just a point of view. Maybe it's another point of view. Maybe more people need to know about it. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Please consider supporting us by sharing the podcast with your fellow heathens or donating by going to atheistrepublic.com and clicking on support. Subscribe to Atheist Republic voicemails on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. And please leave us a review.
Take a look at the top corner of your phone screen. It probably reads 4G LTE. Most phones do these days. But soon, your phone will say 5G there instead. It might seem like a tiny change, but it actually represents one of the greatest technological shifts in our lifetime. And it will mark the end of an era and what we've been waiting decades for: the death of broadband cable. Let's face it, cable companies suck. Everyone hates them, and it's been that way for years. In 2012, Cox was one of the 15 most hated companies in the US. In 2014, Comcast was voted the worst company in America. In 2015, Time Warner received the lowest American customer satisfaction index score in history. And it's no secret why. These companies provide terrible customer service. They charge piles of hidden fees, and they demand high dollar amounts for slow internet speeds and inferior products. So why are they still in business? Because for most people, there's no other choice. In fact, 90% of Americans only have one option when it comes to receiving standard internet speeds. But a massive technological shift is coming. One that's about to sound the death knell for some of America's most hated companies. And this shift, the one that will replace 4G with 5G, could hand you the easiest guaranteed payouts that you'll ever receive. Here's why. Comcast and its fellow cable pirates have reason to worry, because the new tech that's emerging will render its business model obsolete. You see, in order for Comcast and any other big cable company to provide you a service, an insane amount of infrastructure is required. And that infrastructure is incredibly expensive. The internet is delivered to you through an extensive network of cables, most of which run underground. And the cost of putting that cable into place can run as high as $80,000 per mile. And that's just to install the cable. That figure doesn't even include the cost of government permits, lawyers, tearing up roadways, digging trenches, or the construction of the hundreds of buildings needed. To put this into perspective, it cost Google $84 million to build a network that served just 149,000 homes in Kansas City, a dollar amount that doesn't even include actually connecting each home inside the network. For Google to install its network at the national level, it would cost $11 billion a year for 5 years straight. And even then, it would only reach 15% of US homes. The base point I'm trying to make here is that cable is ludicrously expensive to install, maintain, and upgrade. But 5G will change all that, because instead of miles upon miles of cable, endless construction, and everything else that broadband cable requires, 5G will look something like what's attached to this lamppost. I'll explain more about these tiny boxes in just a moment, but what you need to know right now is this. These boxes will bring the likes of Comcast and Time Warner to their knees. And it's because they're up to 6 times cheaper than cable. As Mobile Experts founder and President Joe Madden says, a tectonic shift in the mobile infrastructure market is taking place. So what does that mean for you? Well, first and foremost, imagine never having to see another bill from your cable company ever again. At one point, this was a pipe dream, but today, it's becoming a reality. So what exactly is 5G? How will it spark the biggest tech revolution of the past 15 years? And more importantly, how will it give us the chance to pull in the easiest guaranteed money that we'll ever make? I'm about to answer both of these questions right now. The G in 5G means it's a generation of wireless technology. It signifies the next major upgrade to wireless network standard, and it's designed to enable a faster, more robust network of connected devices. 4G is what most of us use today. It has a theoretical download speed of 100 megabits per second, which is pretty fast, but it won't be able to hold a candle to 5G. 5G will be able to handle 10,000 megabits, which is 100 times faster than 4G, even on its best day. It's why many in the industry, including me, refer to it as the Ultranet. And it's coming this year. And that means if you position yourself properly, you'll be in line to earn an unending series of guaranteed payouts and potentially pull in gains of 300%, 500%, and even upward of 1,500%. How do I know? Because it's already happened before 4 times. It's crazy to think, but it wasn't all that long ago that cell phones looked something like this. That's the world's first commercial cell phone, the Motorola Dynatac 8000X. It weighed almost 2 pounds and stood more than a foot high. And if you'd wanted to own one, it would have set you back $3,995. But despite the hefty price tag and bulky design, the first cell phone to ever hit the market was an instant success. Though, at the time, few people had known it would only be the first generation of mobile connectivity, something we now know as 1G. And even fewer people had understood what kind of investment opportunity had been sitting before them. The 2 big players at the time were Motorola, the phone's designer, and Ameritech, now AT&T, the company that had launched the very first mobile network in the US. Right after the phone launched, AT&T stock went on a tear. Shares shot from only $4.94 all the way up to $28.13, a 469% gain. And Motorola did even better. In fact, it was twice as profitable. Over roughly the same period of time, the stock catapulted from $9.42 to $98.50, around a 946% gain. But like I said, very few people actually caught these runs, unless they had incredible foresight. Of course, 1G was only the beginning. After its decade-long reign, a new paradigm of connectivity followed with the emergence of 2G. After a much-needed network upgrade from analog to digital, which gave you the ability to send text messages, a whole new world of tech was born. Once again, investors who had seen this coming and got in early saw hefty profits. For instance, Sprint established itself early as a major player when it launched the first 2G PCS network in the early 1990s. So it's no surprise that shares of Sprint vaulted from $13.38 per share to $70.93 per share within only 5 years, good for a 430% gain. There was also Ericsson, another 2G provider. Shares exploded from $3.95 all the way to $131.02, a monstrous gain of nearly 3,217%. And the pattern continued. With every new generation of mobile connectivity, 3G and 4G, countless investment opportunities popped up. One of them came during the 3G revolution, which gave the world mobile TV and video on demand. It once again sparked the need for a new realm of technologies. Broadcom and Qualcomm jumped in right away and provided the chipsets to make 3G possible. Shortly after, Broadcom exploded by 325%. And Qualcomm investors watched as 129% gains piled into their accounts. Siemens was a major player too. It provided some of the necessary components for 3G infrastructure. And shares jumped by 129%. See the pattern here? 4G was no different either. Those who'd watched the previous generations of mobile service unfold realized that this was yet another opportunity to pounce. Once 4G upgrades were implemented, companies that were in on the action took off. Crown Castle was one of many cell phone tower stocks that delivered a profitable run for its investors. Shares popped by 637%, and the gains are still rolling in. Of course, all these opportunities have come and gone. But that also means the next wave of profits is about to unfold. Again, I'm talking about 5G, the fifth generation of mobile communication. And today, I'll show you exactly how to play the 5G revolution for some massive potential payouts. But I won't just show you why this will be happening. I'll also tell you how to get in before 5G stocks start going vertical. More specifically, I'll tell you about the 3 stocks that you'll need to be in for the biggest potential profits. But first, it's important for you to understand just how big 5G will be. Remember those little boxes that I showed you earlier? The ones that looked like this? They will be providing the backbone of 5G. They may look tiny, but they'll revolutionize the internet as we know it. Think of it like a spider web. If a spider were to weave a few threads in a bunch of different directions, its web would be quite weak. And that's essentially what broadband cable is, a very weak web. Right now, you're receiving cable service through a system that looks something like this. As you can see, the threads start in one place and then go all sorts of directions. This kind of arrangement would make for a very poor spiderweb. And that's why any spiderweb you've seen probably looks a lot more like this. Obviously, this is optimal. The spider can go in whatever direction it wants, and it can do it far more quickly. On top of that, each thread is supported by many others, so it's far stronger than a single thread hanging on its own. Now, think of this optimal spiderweb as 5G. This is where all those little boxes, called small cells, come into the picture. They will be all over the place, creating an optimal web for mobile connectivity. And rather than a vast spiderweb that'll produce speeds far faster than any networks, we envision a network with a central colocation facility, and you reach out and touch antenna locations in close proximity to that close location. This allows carriers to deliver very high capacity at very low latency. What LeChance's jargon boils down to is this: 5G will blow everything else that we've seen out of the water. Of course, it might be hard to imagine what we'll need all this speed for. I mean, before 2G, very few people were able to imagine downloading images on their phones. Before 3G, it was hard to envision downloading music and videos. And before 4G, almost no one knew how popular HD streaming would become. My point is that for each of these advancements, we needed a faster, stronger network. And today is no different, except that it's much, much bigger than anything we've seen before. Because this time around, it won't just be phones. Tens of billions of devices will rely on 5G to function. It's 100% essential to the future of tech. And there are 3 major industries that will be driving 5G stocks to dizzying heights. Technology catalyst number 1, the Internet of Things. The term Internet of Things seems like it's been everywhere recently. For those not familiar, the Internet of Things is a broad way to describe the concept of an interconnected network that includes machines, wearables, buildings, automobiles, and tons of other types of devices. The thing is, despite millions of devices already being connected, we're only at the dawn of the Internet of Things era. Cisco estimates that by 2020, within just the next 2 years, the number of connected devices will reach upward of 50 billion. And in 4 years, that figure is estimated to reach 1 trillion. The IoT market is massive, almost beyond comprehension, with over $1.46 trillion projected to be spent on the IoT in year 2020, no other tech trend will have a more dramatic impact on the near future. According to McKinsey & Company, a worldwide consulting firm, the IoT will expand several industries at an alarming pace. Autonomous vehicles and maintenance will explode by 252%. Public health, energy, and transport will expand by 82%. Logistics and navigation will grow by 51%. Automated checkout will expand by 192%. Office security will jump by 114%. Home automation and security will grow by 75%. And health and fitness will explode by 841%. All these industries are parts of our daily lives, and the IoT will have a direct and enormous impact on them. And the financial implications are insane. As more and more devices are connected, up to $12 trillion worth of goods and services will be generated. To put that number into context, $12 trillion is almost as much as what all consumers in the US spent in 2016 combined. And it's more than the total consumer spending of China, Japan, France, Germany, and the UK all added together. The thing is, we need a network that can support this mind-numbing number of devices. And that's where 5G comes in. According to Intel insider Asha Keddy, 5G will be the main driver. As Keddy says, the 2G networks were designed for voice, 3G for voice and data, and 4G for broadband internet experiences. With 5G, we'll see computing capabilities getting fused with communications everywhere, so trillions of things like wearable devices don't have to worry about computing power because the network can do any processing needed. Remember that spiderweb that I showed you earlier? Well, that kind of optimal network, 5G, will be able to handle about 1,000 times more mobile data than today's cellular systems. In other words, without 5G, the IoT won't be able to exist. Sure, we've already seen some aspects of the IoT, but according to Qualcomm Vice President Raj Talluri, everybody already loves to talk about the IoT because we're just starting to see its potential, and that's exciting. But with 5G, we'll actually help realize the promise of a massively expanded IoT beyond what's possible with today's technologies. But the thing is, although the IoT is a huge catalyst for 5G, it isn't the only thing that's set to generate massive payouts for early investors. Technology catalyst number 2, driverless cars. If you happened to catch the Olympics this past February, you might have caught the amazing display that South Korea put on. And I'm not talking about the opening ceremony. I'm talking about the driverless vehicle demonstration by Hyundai, South Korea's largest automaker, and KT Corporation, the country's largest telephone company. Hyundai rolled out an autonomous sedan, and KT Corp's self-driving bus was dubbed the 5G bus. Both cars took to the highways, showing just how far the driverless car industry has come. As CNN put it, spectators at the Olympics aren't just getting to watch the ultimate showdown in winter sports, they're also witnessing the most high-tech Olympic Games in history. In one of its first official exhibitions, 5G was everywhere. From virtual reality stations to super-fast video streaming, and, most spectacularly, the driverless car presentation. But even though Hyundai and KT Corp made it all look effortless, there's actually an incredible amount of sophistication and computing necessary to make driverless cars a real possibility. For instance, Google's driverless car gathers nearly 1 gigabyte of sensor data per second. That's roughly 100 times faster than your computer can download a file. And the reason for this is because of what the car must see in order to operate. This is what a driverless car sees as it's moving. The car must take into account things like other cars, trucks, birds, rolling balls, street litter, potholes, and everything else that a human driver has to pay attention to. It's a truly monumental achievement, and it takes an incredible amount of computing speed to make it happen. So it stands to reason that Google's car, and all driverless cars for that matter, should be able to process information far faster than your home computer can. It will also mean a vast amount of stress on current networks that are in crucial need of an upgrade as more and more of these cars enter operation. Consider this. Intel says that the average autonomous vehicle uses 4,000 gigabytes of data over the course of a full day. Now, let that sink in as you realize the average mobile phone user transmits just 2 to 3 gigabytes over the course of an entire month. In other words, it could take more than 1,500 combined an entire month to generate as much data as a single driverless car does in one day. And the fact is, 4G networking simply can't keep up with that kind of demand. But 5G can, and it'll do it with ease. As Rob Topol of Intel points out, 5G wireless networking will be like oxygen for self-driving cars. As such, 5G will bring safer roads, more efficient travel, reduced air pollution, and better driving experiences. The speed of such a network will also enable vehicles to talk to each other, supporting a fully autonomous driving experience. It will make something else possible too. Something we've been on the verge of for years, something that could produce some of the biggest profits we've seen since the dot-com era. Technology catalyst number 3, augmented and virtual reality. Over the last few years, the tech shows and conferences I've attended have been absolutely buzzing about augmented reality and virtual reality. We've been on the verge of seeing AR and VR change the ways we live, including everything from how we shop to how we work and how we communicate with friends and family. But we haven't managed to break through to that capability just yet. And it's because only widespread adoption of 5G will make AR and VR fully possible. There are 4 major reasons why. Put simply, latency is the amount of delay that occurs when transmitting data. The latency with 4G is around 50 milliseconds, which isn't bad. But with 5G, that figure will drop to under 1 millisecond, about a 5,000% improvement. And as Forbes says, the new speed that comes with this decrease in latency is going to change everything. As Skyworks CEO Liam Griffin puts it, with 3G, it took about a day to download an HD movie. 4G, available now, slashed that time to minutes. A 5G network would reduce that wait time to seconds. And this massive decrease in latency is the most important thing that AR and VR will need to be fully realized. The second reason that AR and VR rely on widespread 5G adoption is because of the improvement in connection that it will have. According to telecom firm Highway, a 5G network provides up to 1 million connections per square kilometer. This will bring an exponential increase in the number of connections. Now, compare that to the measly 1,000 connections that 4G can handle. And with billions of connections needed for new AR and VR tech like smart glasses, we'll need a network that can support the load. That's something we won't be able to do with 4G. And that leads me to the third reason that 5G is massively important to AR and VR. The sheer amount of traffic flowing through the networks as billions of devices come online will be almost incomprehensible. According to Cisco, traffic for AR is set to grow by 700% over the next 3 years. And traffic for VR is projected to increase by 1,100%. Now, for AR and VR to function optimally, speeds of 25 megabits per second are needed. And right now, according to Akami's State of the Internet report, the average connection speed across the globe is a mere 5.6 megabits per second. Now get this. Even though 4G can't produce even close to what will be needed to drive AR and VR, 5G will be able to produce 300 times what we'll need. In a recent test, Samsung was able to reach a peak download rate of 7.5 gigabytes per second. Not only is that 300 times faster than what AR and VR will need, but it's also 1,500 times better than the average 4G connection. And according to Qualcomm, this will produce a 100 times improvement in overall traffic capacity. If this sounds confusing, just think of 4G like a single-lane road and 5G like a 10-lane highway. A single-lane road is fine if only a few cars are using it. But put 1 million cars on the road and they wouldn't even be able to move. That's where we're at right now. For years, 4G has been fine, but as we add millions, even billions of devices over the next few years, the network will grind to an eventual standstill without a major upgrade. In other words, our need for that 10-lane highway is immediate, and 5G will begin solving that need this year. The fourth and last reason that AR and VR will rely on 5G is bandwidth. Put simply, the wider the band, the faster you'll be able to go. With AR and VR, the screens and equipment used will need bandwidth that 4G simply doesn't offer. In the past, we've made do with bands below 6 GHz. 5G will offer bands up to 300 GHz, a 50 times improvement. According to telecom company Spectrum, 5G will allow us to transmit signals on a whole new swath of spectrum. Overall, we're looking at a massive upgrade and a huge uptick in what we'll be able to do. As ABI research says, 5G will bring about a 10 times decrease in latency, a 100 times improvement in traffic capacity, and a 100 times improvement in network efficiency over what 4G provides. This is huge news because it will make VR and AR a reality. By now, of course, I'm sure you're wondering how all this creates an unprecedented profit opportunity for you. Well, I'm about to tell you, and there are 3 companies that are leading the charge to 5G. 5G stock number 1. Guaranteed profits from the death of Comcast. In late 2018, we saw 5G being deployed in California's capital, Sacramento. It was the first city with widespread 5G support in what Maria McGonigal, Sacramento's chief information officer called a game changer. And it won't only be a few blocks that will receive 5G. It will be the entire city, including 5G hotspots in 27 parks. But keep in mind, Sacramento is only the first. There are at least 10 other cities that have been chosen to quickly follow Sacramento as 5G pioneers. And the best part is, the company that I'm sharing with you today is in charge of every one of these installations. In fact, this company just dropped over $1 billion to reinvent its own network ahead of the 5G bonanza that will begin later this year. The company's senior vice president says, "There's a lot more to 5G than just a smartphone going a little bit faster on the network. So this next generation of technology will be frankly one of the biggest leaps forward that I think we will see." Remember, the first network ever was created by AT&T, and its stock jumped 468% in the following months as people realized what kind of landmark event it really was. This stands to dwarf that. Even better, this opportunity gives you the chance to collect guaranteed payouts. Think of it like this. Every time this company installs a piece of 5G equipment, you'll get paid. Every time someone accesses this company's network, you'll get paid. Every time a device connects, you'll get paid. In other words, any time this company's 5G networks get used, you'll make money, and the payouts are 100% guaranteed. In fact, some folks already have received their first guaranteed payouts this past January. By simply getting in on this company, you'll have guaranteed cash payouts. And this is just the first of 3 companies that you should buy right now if you want to get in position to collect the biggest potential 5G windfalls. 5G stock number 2, the $3 company redefining wireless. The second company that I'd like to share with you already has some of the biggest telecom companies in the world, like Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, and T-Mobile, clamoring for its wireless products. It's even inked a deal with the US Army. On top of that, it's already secured $100 million worth of orders from first-tier Indian telecom operators. But most importantly, the company holds the lion's share of its market, ranking as the #1 5G wireless backhaul specialist. Put simply, it's the best in the world at providing cheap, efficient 5G products and services. It might not sound glamorous, but as 5G spending, which is projected to hit $200 billion per year, ramps up, this small company is primed to go vertical, and it'll be able to handle it. It's been in the business for more than 20 years and has a long track record of being involved in huge technological advances. In all, the company has more than 2,000 customers already, and has deployed more than 1 million systems since it started operation in 1996. And as 5G implementation goes ballistic starting later this year, this company's share price is primed to explode. As Julie Coppernoll, Vice President of Global Marketing for Intel, says, "Nothing will be mobile anymore because everything will be mobile." And this company will pave the way to our 5G future. But what might be the best news is that right now it's trading for only $3. But it won't be that way for long. Not once 5G deployment reaches frenzied levels and demand for this company's products skyrockets. And that brings me to company number 3. 5G stock number 3. The small cell kingpin set to go parabolic. Remember the small cells that I showed you earlier? As I mentioned, they'll provide the backbone of 5G networks across the globe. So as you can imagine, demand for all these cells is reaching epic proportions. As David Orloff, the chairman of the Small Cell Forum, says, the industry is seeing explosive growth in the number of small cell deployments, a fundamental building block for tomorrow's 5G deployments. And when he says tomorrow, he means this year. According to Wells Fargo Managing Director Jennifer Freach, while we saw some early carrier interest in activity building small cells, we believe this to really be the year where small cells are pursued in earnest. And one company has a stranglehold on the competition. This company already has a deal in place with an unnamed wireless operator to deploy over 500 small cell sites in 2 large metro areas. It's all part of a multi-million-dollar deal that includes siting, placement, and installation. And that's not the only project these guys are in on. Sprint Chief Technology Officer John Saw noted that he's working aggressively with this company to upgrade Sprint's network ahead of the massive 5G launches coming later this year. And Verizon is a top customer as well. The company I'm telling you about has several multi-year contracts with Verizon, and it's on the brink of bringing in huge business from AT&T. In other words, all the big boys in the industry are relying on this company in a huge way. And this position will make this company the largest standalone player with the widest North American reach. These guys aren't just providing small cells either. In fact, the company's largest mobile infrastructure contract, which is already in place, has it providing another service essential to 5G. In short, it's in charge of connecting thousands of towers in 30 markets across 21 states. The good news is, these guys are in a prime position to absolutely dominate the market as things move forward. And the better news is, because of this stranglehold, the company stands to pay out insane profits as 5G ramps up across the world. But best of all, I'm about to reveal the names of these 3 companies so you can jump in before the biggest profits come rolling in. But first, let me briefly introduce myself. Hi, I'm Jason Stutman. You may know me as the investment director of Angel Publishing's popular tech investing publication, Technology and Opportunity. Or you may know me as founder of the popular tech news site, Tech Investing Daily. But what do I really do? I learn about the technology industry and hunt down innovative, disruptive companies that are changing the rules of the game. And I identify stocks with blockbuster potential. I absolutely love my work. I get to do some really cool stuff and see some really cool things. From surgical robots to miniature drones and the next generation of 3D printers, I've been fortunate enough to test countless emerging technologies well before they hit the market. Following this kind of stuff is my passion. It's what I love to do. And that's why in 2013, I agreed to join Angel Publishing, one of the largest and most trusted investment research firms in the world. It's also why I founded the cutting-edge investment research service and Tech Investing Daily. I'm proud to publish your blueprint for leading-edge technology investments that have the potential to double, triple, or as you've already seen, even more. I cut my teeth in the world of tech, and over the last several years, I've built an incredibly strong network of professional connections in the industry. My contacts include high-ranking CTOs, investor relations executives, and even high-profile CEOs. But I'm not telling you any of this to brag. I simply want to point out the advantage that this can give you. Not only do technology companies let me know when they're developing new products, but I also often get to experience these new innovations well before they hit the market. If it's coming up in the world of tech, you can be sure it's on my radar. And by getting in on the inside, I've been able to tip my faithful readers off to a steady stream of winning tech stocks. They include recent gains in biotechnology, like this pioneer in molecular information platforms, like this biotech that's making breakthroughs in diabetes treatments, and this developer of drugs for neurodegenerative disease. We also took juicy profits from this orthopedic medicine maker twice. I cover the entire world of technology, and I take profits wherever they present themselves, like this leader in industrial robotics, and this company that's disrupting the commercial print industry. This creator of technology platforms for the medical cannabis industry rewarded us very quickly, and so did this developer of an advanced digital imaging technology. Now, these were all great plays, but they don't compare to the profits that I'm seeing on the horizon from the 3 5G stocks I've been telling you about. In fact, I believe those profits will be much closer to the gains that my readers made on Ethereum, the powerhouse cryptocurrency that shot up 2,319% from when I recommended it in April of last year. It's not a tech stock, but cryptocurrency is one of the most lucrative ways to invest in tech today. In fact, cryptocurrency is such a promising investment sphere that I've created a whole new division for it at Technology and Opportunity in order to educate and guide investors within the market with ease. But we'll get back to that in a moment. Right now, you probably want to know if I really deliver for my readers. So why don't I let them tell you?
The information found in Technology and Opportunity has proven invaluable. Of all the recommendations I'm exposed to, whether by other newsletters or fellow investors, Jason's recommendations have borne the most fruit. As the name suggests, an opportunity awaits if you believe. The only limitation is lack of action. Jason's track record speaks for itself, and time has proven again and again that the information found in Technology and Opportunity has the potential to make you wealthy.
Jason Stutman does a terrific job of communicating the value of technologies in an understandable way and has a high degree of success in picking those companies that will be the winners in a particular field of technology. By following Jason's advice and investing in many of his selections, I have handily beaten the S&P 500 over the last several years and learned a lot about new technologies along the way.
As the authority on tech stocks, Jason does the research and keeps handing members one home run after another. My membership to Technology and Opportunity was a bargain that paid for itself in days. Thanks to Jason, I will be securing an early retirement.
I love my Technology and Opportunity subscription. I just recently started investing and could not have chosen a better investment newsletter. The information provided in my subscription is easy to follow, full of expert insight, and the recommendations pay off in a major way. The thing that sets this letter apart from all the rest is the ability to locate solid under-the-radar companies that will shape the way we live everyday life. Technology and opportunity is worth every penny. It's actually underpriced.
I've been with you from when you started this column. The timing was perfect. It was toward the end of my career, and your results sent me into retirement in perfect shape. I have continued with you and your research and advice and have had the revenue to maintain my lifestyle, and then some. You know where to look, and more importantly, what to avoid.
Nothing gives me greater satisfaction than hearing my readers' success stories. And that's why I make sure to provide them with the absolute best investment opportunities in the world of tech. Each month, I bring my readers a new company that's in the process of changing the world. Just like the firms detailed in our free report, Ultranet Profits, Top 3 Stocks for Riding the 5G Revolution. This report gives you the names, ticker symbols, and all the details about the market-dominating 5G stocks that I've been telling you about. But these companies are only a few of the many opportunities and benefits that you'll receive by joining us at Technology and Opportunity. In fact, joining us today will also land you a 100% free subscription to our new cryptocurrency education service, Token Authority Pro. After my readers made over 2,000% profits on my Ethereum recommendation, they were hungry for more research on the crypto market. So we created Token Authority Pro to teach investors about this incredible new sector. Token Authority Pro provides our readers with in-depth information on how cryptocurrencies work, why they're so popular, unique ways to play the market, and exactly how to buy, sell, and store your digital coins. It also addresses common questions that new investors have about getting started, and it guides readers through the entire process, start to finish. If you subscribe to Technology and Opportunity today, you'll get full access to all that research completely free. But let me tell you what else you should expect with a subscription. 12 monthly issues. Our issues are jam-packed with new and exciting research on the hottest technology companies on the planet. Every month, I'll introduce you to a breakthrough company that has the potential to change the world. You'll get the name of the company, the stock symbol, and specific instructions to help you invest. Portfolio updates. As needed, I'll send you regular market pulse updates that'll let you know what's happening in the world of technology and give you an up-to-the-minute analysis on each of my recommendations. If something big comes across my desk, you'll be the first to know. Weekly curated content. Each week, I'll share with you the most important financial and tech news from around the web in our This Week in Tech series. Stay up to date on all the latest breakthroughs and innovations, even before they hit the public market. Flash alerts. Every day I monitor the markets, keeping a close eye on each of my recommendations. So if something changes with any of our positions, you'll be the first to know via my flash alerts. Unlimited access to our private, members-only website. Read all our back issues and reports and stay up to date on all the cutting-edge technology opportunities that I uncover. On top of that, I'll also give you 2 special bonus reports, a $500 value completely free of charge if you respond within the next 24 hours. Bonus report number 1. How to make up to 181 times your money from the death of Monsanto. Monsanto is one of the most universally disliked companies on the market today. Its callous disregard for anything that isn't more money has earned it a vicious reputation. You might have already heard about how it spends millions on lawyers to take farmland from poor, hardworking Americans who can't afford to defend themselves in court. Or you may have heard about how using genes from bacteria to make Monsanto seeds pesticide resistant has had a far-reaching environmental consequence. But whether you're a humanitarian, an environmentalist, or just someone who thinks that multi-billion-dollar corporations don't need to further exploit the American working class, there's a reason for anyone to hate the company. After years of Monsanto running amok in its agricultural markets, a competitor has finally emerged to take the agricultural market from it. The days of Monsanto ramming its GMOs down our throats are numbered. The reason? A new agricultural technology is rendering the company obsolete. This breakthrough tech can be used to produce food products that are hardier and more nutritious than standard, like potatoes that can keep for weeks in the refrigerator, wheat that can withstand herbicides, soybean oil that's loaded with healthy fat, just like olive oil, and that's all just for starters. This technology could also protect our precious crops from all manners of environmental disasters, like drought, pollution, pests, and spores. And it can be used on virtually any crop. It has the power to end food shortages forever through exploding crop yields. And one tiny biotech controls the patent on this breakthrough tech. This is great news for the world's burgeoning population, not to mention for investors who get in on this company before the Wall Street herd wakes up to it. It's in a position to reward early investors with 181-to-1 profits and take down one of the most brutal, cutthroat corporations all in the same stroke. But like I said, I have another opportunity I've recently uncovered that I want to share with you today. Bonus report number 2, the end of Google as we know it, how you can profit from the next leap in AI. Bill Gates calls it the Holy Grail. Jeff Bezos calls it gigantic. And Elon Musk has poured $1 billion into it. And right now, Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, IBM, and virtually every other tech titan is working day and night to bring the next generation of artificial intelligence to life. The biggest application for this breakthrough? The personal digital assistant. This breakthrough technology will make typing a question into Google search as obsolete as dialing on a rotary phone. The new personal digital assistant will be like having a friend by your side who knows everything. And it'll exist for one purpose, to share its knowledge with you. It'll be able to do everything Siri can, but it'll also be more than happy to schedule your meetings, plot your monthly budget, reserve your rental car, make a tea time, and email your friends. The list of things that it'll be able to do for you will only be limited by your imagination. And it won't just be everyday users like you who will take advantage of these new personal digital assistants. Hospitals will be able to use them to more accurately diagnose patients. College students will be able to use them in place of textbooks. And businesses will be able to use them to spot market trends ahead of the competition. I know that all sounds like something from a sci-fi novel, but consider just how far we've come already. IBM's Watson can diagnose cancer faster and more accurately than doctors today. Amazon's Alexa can perform 7,000 unique tasks. Microsoft's Cortana can draft emails and schedule daily appointments. The Google Assistant software can carry a two-way conversation. And Google Translate even created its own language to make switching between other languages easier. These developments are just the beginning of where the next generation of AI will take us, and it's moving fast. In fact, Comscore is estimating that by 2020, more than half of all internet searches will be done through voice recognition AI. By then, spending in the field of personal digital assistant development is expected to skyrocket up to $47 billion. That's a jaw-dropping growth rate of 55.1% every year. And you can profit up to 49,500% gains from this historic leap in AI. That's how much money tech-savvy investors made on the back of Google's IPO. But they didn't make it through Google. They made it through Dell, Logitech, Intel, and HP. These are the companies that produce the hardware that Google needed to scale up its search technology. The computers, the microprocessors, and even the mouses and keyboards necessary for you and me to search the web. If you'd invested $2,500 in each of these companies on day one of Google's IPO and sold them only 18 months later, you'd have made a fortune of about $1.24 million. That's a 49,500% gain, more than 496 times your original investment. Today, you have another shot at a $1 million payday with the next generation of PDAs. And you won't have to buy the tech titans developing them, like Apple, IBM, and Amazon. The 7-figure payday I'm talking about involves a $16 company that's revolutionized voice recognition technology. It's created a type of microphone called an array. Arrays are clusters of tiny microphones inside individual devices. And they do a much better job at distinguishing distance, cutting out background noise, and identifying commands than typical microphones do. This $16 company is the unquestioned leader in the technology behind these powerful little devices. And that's earned it a whopping 59% market share. Bottom line, demand for this company's tech will explode. And it's because it's crucial for tech giants like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon to bring the next generation of Siri, Cortana, and Alexa to life. In fact, a research report by IHS Technology says that the number of microphones sold every year will almost double from 3.6 billion to 6 billion by as soon as 2019. Hopefully you can see why right now is the perfect time to invest in this tiny tech company. It's an extraordinary profit opportunity that can make you a millionaire. And you'll learn everything you'll need to know about it in your free bonus report, The End of Google as We Know It, how you can profit from the next leap in AI. Again, you get it at no cost simply by giving technology an opportunity, a risk-free try. By now you're probably wondering, how much does all this cost? Well, that's the best part. I know some folks who pay well over $5,000 a year for seemingly the exact same information that you can get from Technology and Opportunity. The fact is, for the big shots on Wall Street, $5,000 for a full year of investment research is pocket change. Services like Technology and Opportunity give them a big leg up on the competition. so they're willing to dish out the cash for information that can pay for itself with a single trade. But I don't do what I do to make the fat cats on Wall Street richer than they already are. More than anything, I believe in empowering the individual investor with insight and information. And that's what gives people like you a leg up on the competition. And that's why I've fought tooth and nail with my publisher for Technology and Opportunity to have an incredibly low annual rate of $249. And my readers have been thrilled with this. But I think we could do more. I don't want you to spend another minute feeling like banks and hedge funds are the only ones that can do well in the stock market. And that's why I'm offering you a special price today. Just let me know before tomorrow that you'd like the special discount for my monthly Technology and Opportunity newsletter, and you'll get the full year for only $39. That's less than 30 cents per day. 3 dimes, a quarter and a nickel, 30 pennies. That's right. For the next 24 hours only, get Technology and Opportunity for the next year for only $39. After subscribing, you'll immediately gain access to your special report, Ultranet Profits, Top 3 Stocks for Riding the 5G Revolution. Your special bonus report number 1, The End of Google as We Know It, How You Can Profit from the Next Leap in AI. And bonus report number 2, How to Make Up to 181 times your money from the death of Monsanto. I think you'll agree that's a flat-out steal. But because I want to make this a no-brainer for you, I'll even go a step further to ensure you're absolutely comfortable with trying Technology and Opportunity. Here's my personal money-back guarantee. If at any time during the first 30 days you're unhappy with your Technology and Opportunity subscription, for any reason, just say the word. I'll send you a check to cover every penny of your subscription expense, no questions asked. And if after the first 30 days you're not happy, I'll refund every penny of the unused portion of your subscription. Again, no questions asked. Even if you decide to take a 100% refund, you'll be able to keep everything that I've sent you. This includes the special report, Ultranet Profits, the Top 3 Stocks to Ride the 5G Revolution. You'll also get to keep your special bonus reports, The End of Google as We Know It, How You Can Profit from the Next Leap in AI, and How to Make Up to 181 times your money from the death of Monsanto for free. Simply put, you have absolutely nothing to lose, and your upside on this opportunity is enormous. Your subscription could easily pay for itself with a single trade. But you must move quickly. Most people haven't heard about the stocks detailed in this report, but that won't last. Word is getting out, and big institutional money is already moving in as the 5G industry positions itself for enormous growth. Things are already moving fast, and you need to get in position now, not later, to ensure full profit potential. Remember, the people who had a chance to make 43 times their money on Ericsson were the ones with the vision to seize the opportunity early and get in on the ground floor. Now is your opportunity to do the same. To get started, simply click on the button below, which will take you to a secure order form. Your order will be processed immediately, and you'll have access to all my work within a matter of minutes. But hurry, this opportunity won't be around much longer, and I'd hate to see you miss out.